Welcome back to L2 Games, where we are continuing to build our city in No Man's Sky. Now, on one of our more recent videos, one of you commented that we're fighting an uphill battle here against the terrain, and that we're sort of being gluttons for punishment. And while I appreciate the thought, we've gotten this far already, I'm not going to give up just yet. So we're going to keep going with our city at ground level. We might extend it up into the sky and add like a second level or do like a multi-tiered thing. But for now, we're going to keep going like this. We're making some good progress. So if you've been keeping up with it, on the last episode, we finished construction on what is now our apartment building. So you can see here, we've got all the lighting done, all the rooms are done. We just need to go through and decorate them. But today, what we're getting started with is going around and placing some lampposts along the street, just to light up the city a little more. It's still looking a little dark at night, so we want to brighten that up so we can see all of the architecture at night. And then what I want to do is get started on a small sort of commercial area, maybe an open air market of sorts. So we're going to see that as well. But here for now, you can see we're putting in our light posts, and we're just going to surround the building here. And then we're going to fill in some other spots that are maybe lacking for structures. There's a bit of empty space behind our first building here, so we're going to fill that in with some kind of structure, maybe like a sculpture or like a little park or something, just to fill it out a little more and make it feel a little more lively. Of course, it's only going to feel so lively given that nobody lives here. It's a complete ghost town, but we do want to make it feel a little more city-like and not just a couple of buildings out in the middle of nowhere. So as you can see here, I've gone around the first city block and I've put a bunch of lampposts down, so this will look nice and lively at night. So there it is, there's our first city block all lit up at night. So now it's time to get moved on to something else. As I mentioned in one of the previous videos, I'm going to make these updates a little less frequently the further we go. I'm also going to try to keep the videos a little shorter, so it's just going to be me talking over some of what we've already recorded instead of doing a live commentary as we're building. But here you'll see I'm getting started on what is going to be sort of a retail area, a commercial area of the city. So we've got what is supposed to be a little store here, a general store, and then we're going to have an open air market behind that. So let's just see how that's going to look. Now you'll see here that I'm trying to add stairs to the outside of the building. Now one of the things I wanted to do with this building is give it sort of an open air portion to it as well. I like the weather on this planet, and I feel like I don't want everything to just be necessarily enclosed indoors. So I'm building this stairway to sort of an upper platform level where there's going to be some more shopping. I'm going to have a shop terminal up the top here. And that part's going to be mostly open. There's going to be a few archways, so it's somewhat enclosed, and I'm going to use the canvas sail roofs over top of it, but I'm not going to enclose it like an interior portion of the building, because I want it to have that open feel. Now I wasn't sure here which kind of roof I wanted to use, whether it would be the folded sail or the angled sail. I decided to go with the folded sail. I just like the white color in contrast with the walls of the building a little more. It just helps it to stand out a little bit and feels a little more summery and open, in my opinion. So we've got those on there. So that's pretty much it for the building here. And now it's time to get started on our open air market. So for the market itself, I decided to place 3 canvas gazebos out behind our general store, and I wanted to space them out as evenly as possible. I want it to look at least somewhat organized, but I also want it to look, somewhat imperfect, like it's, kind of a put together by hand weekend market kind of thing. So we've got the gazebos here, and then the next step is to start decorating it with a few vendor stalls and some goods and crates, just to give it that market sort of feel. So there it is. There is our general store and open air market. The sun is just about to come up here, so we'll get a chance to see it in a little bit better light. But one of the things I started to notice here is that the rest of this space on this block is kind of unused, so I want to go back and fill that in with some buildings. Now, I don't totally hate the prefab buildings in this. In fact, I want to use a few more of them just because they'll help speed construction along a little bit and help me fill in a lot of the empty space around the city without having to go through and be super meticulous about putting together each building. So we're just going to put in a few stacks worth of this prefab square room building here and just fill in this empty space that we have on this block. And now, with a bunch of space still left over, I want to go through and add a stone building here. I feel like I haven't used the stone enough, so I want to have a variety of building materials throughout the city, just give every building its own little character. So this building is just going to be like a one-story little shop here, or maybe a bar or something, and it's just going to be used to fill in the space in our market area. Now, one of the troubles I had with putting together this building was deciding whether to use the flat stone walls or the extruded stone walls. I haven't had an opportunity to use the extruded ones yet, so I thought I would start with those. The problem was, when it came to adding the roof onto this building, it just didn't turn out the way I liked it, so I decided we were going to scrap that and go with flat walls, and instead make just a single-story, flat-roofed building with maybe a sort of rooftop patio area. The rooftop patio itself didn't end up working out because I couldn't get the half ramp to snap onto the building on the side I wanted it to in the direction I wanted it to face, which has been one of my major frustrations so far, is getting the ramps to face the direction I want them to. It's really annoying that they only seem to want to face two directions and don't like to snap into walls neatly, but for what we've been able to do so far, I'm willing to look past that, and we can alter our plans to sort of accommodate the building system. The finishing touch would be to add our little sign over top of the roof here, and that would be it for our retail/commercial area. So, thank you guys once again for tuning into this episode, and we'll see you in the next one.